Our Father in heaven, grateful for another day to labor and to work before the night is coming. Oh, Father, fill your people with your spirit. And I pray for your Holy Spirit to continue to work in each and every one of us. I pray in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. This is the sixth part of the continuing reading of the book of Uriah Smith, Daniel, and Revelation. The one character which ever appears the same in all these scenes, and whose victory is the leading theme through all the prophecies, the Church of God. The other characters are her persecutors, and are introduced simply because they are such. And here, as an introductory inquiry, we raise the question: who or what is that persecutes the true church? It is a false or apostate church. What is it that ever warring against true religion? It is a false and counterfeit religion. Whoever heard of its civil power merely of any nation persecuting the people of God? Governments may war against other governments to avenge some wrong, real or imaginary, or to acquire territory and extend their power, as nations have often warred against the Jews. Governments do not persecute, mark the word, do not persecute people on account of their religion unless under the control of some opposite and hostile system of religion. But the powers introduced in this prophecy, the dragon, the leopard beast, and the two-horned beast, are all persecuting powers. They are actuated by rage and enmity against the people and church of God. And this fact is of itself sufficiently conclusive evidence that in each of these powers, the ecclesiastical or religious element is the controlling power. Take the dragon. What does it symbolize? The Roman Empire is the undeniable answer, but this is not enough. No one will be satisfied with this answer and no more. It must be more definite. We then add the Roman Empire in its pagan form, to which all must also agree. But just as soon as we say pagan, we introduce a religious element. For paganism is one of the hugest system of counterfeit religion that Satan ever devised. The dragon then is so far an ecclesiastical power that the very characteristics by which it is distinguishable is as false system of religion. And what made the dragon persecute the Church of Christ? It was because Christianity was prevailing against paganism, sweeping away its superstitions, overturning its idols, dismantling its temples. The religious element of that power was touched, and persecution was the result. We now come to the leopard beast of chapter 13. What does that symbolize? The answer still is the Roman Empire. But the dragon symbolized the Roman Empire, and why does not the same symbol represent all? There has been a change in the religious character of the empire, and this beast symbolizes Rome in its professedly Christian form. And it is this change of religion, and this alone, which makes a change in the symbol necessary. This big beast differs from the dragon only in that he presents a different religious aspects. Hence, it would be altogether wrong to affirm that it denotes simply the Roman civil power. To this beast, the dragon gives his seat, his power, and great authority. By what power was pagan Rome succeeded? We all know that it was by papal Rome. It matters not to our present purpose when or what means this change was effected. The great fact is apparent, and it is acknowledged by all that the next great phase of the Roman Empire after its pagan form was its papal form. Papal. It would not be correct, therefore, to say that pagan Rome gave its seat and power to a form of government merely civil, having no religious element whatever. No stretch of the imagination can conceive of such a transaction. The two phases of empire are here recognized, and in the prophecy, Rome is pagan until Rome is papal. The statement that the dragon gave the leopard beast his seat and power is further evidence that the dragon of Revelation 12:3 is not a symbol of Satan personally. For Satan has not abdicated in favor of any other malevolent being, and he has not given up his seat to any earthly power. But it may be said that it takes the leopard beast and two-horned beast together to constitute the papacy, and hence It is to these that the dragon gives his power, seat, great authority. But the prophecy does not say so. It is the leopard beast alone with which the dragon has to do. It is that beast alone that it gives power, seat, and great authority. It is that beast that has a head that is wounded, death, which is afterward healed. That beast that the whole world wonders after, that beast that receives a mouth speaking blasphemies, and that wears out the saints for 1,260 years. And all this before the succeeding power, the two-horned beast, comes upon the stage of action at all. The leopard beast alone, therefore, symbolizes the Roman Empire in its papal form, the controlling influence behind ecclesiastical. To show this more fully, we have but to draw a parallel between the little horn of Daniel 7:8, 20, 24, 25, and this power. From this comparison, it will appear that the little horn referred to and the leopard beast symbolize the same power, but the little horn is acknowledged in all hands to be a symbol of the papacy. There are 6 points of identity as follows. The little horn was a blasphemous power. He shall speak great words against the Most High, Daniel 7:25. The leopard beast, 13:6, is the same. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against God. The little horn made war with the saints that prevail against them, Daniel 7:21. This beast also, Revelation 13:7, makes war with the saints and overcomes them. The little horn had the mouth speaking great things, Daniel 7:8-20. And of this beast we read Revelation 13:5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. The little horn arose from the cessation of the pagan form of the Roman Empire. The beast of Revelation 13:2 arises at the same time. But the dragon, pagan Rome, gives him his power, his seat, and great authority. Power was given to the little horn to continue for 3 times in the dividing of time, or 1,260 years, Daniel 7:25. To these beasts also power is given for 42 months, for 1,260 years, Revelation 13:5. At the end of that specified period, the dominion of the little horn was to be taken away, Daniel 7:26. At the end of the same period, the leopard beast was himself to be led into captivity, Revelation 13:10. Both these specifications were fulfilled in the captivity they exiled the Pope and the temporary overthrow of papacy by France in 1798. Here are 2 points that prove identity. For when we have in prophecy 2 symbols, as in this instance, representing powers that came upon the stage of action at the same time, occupy the same territory, maintain the same character, do the same work, exist the same length of time, and meet the same fate, those symbols represent the same identical power. Now, all the particulars I've specified do apply alike to the little horn, the little leopard beast, of chapter 13, showing these 2 symbols represents the same power. It is admitted in all hands that the little horn represents the papacy, and he who claims that this leopard beast does not represent the same must be consistent, show that at the same time the papacy arose, there arose another great power exactly like it, occupying the same territory, bearing the same character, doing the same work, continuing the same length of time, and meeting the same fate, and yet it a separate and distinct power, which would be as absurd as it would be impossible. The head was then wounded to death, was a papal head. We are held to this conclusion by the very obvious principle that whatever is spoken in prophecy of the symbol of any government applies to that government only while it's represented by that symbol. Now, Rome is represented by 2 symbols, the dragon and the leopard beast, because it has presented 2 phases, the pagan and the papal. And whatever is said of the dragon applies to Rome only in its pagan form, papal form. Whatever is said of the leopard beast applies to Rome only in its professedly Christian form. But Rome was pagan in John's day, who lived under the 6th or imperial head. This shows us at once that 6 of the heads, including the imperial, belonged to the dragon. And if it was any of these heads which was wounded to death, then it was one of the heads of the dragon, or one of the forms of government that belonged to Rome in its pagan form, and at one of the heads of the beast. And John would have said, and I saw one of the heads of the dragon wounded to death. But he says that it was one of the heads of the beast that was wounded to death. In other words, this would fell upon some form of government that existed in the Roman Empire after its change from paganism to Christianity. But after this change, there was but one head, and that was the papal. Thus, it is placed beyond controversy that it was none other than the papal head that was wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. This wounding is the same as going into captivity. Revelation 13, verse 10. It was inflicted when the Pope was taken prisoner by Berthier, the French general, and the papal government was for a time abolished in 1798. Stripped of his power, both civil and ecclesiastical, the captive Pope, Pius VI, died in exile at Valence in France, August 29, 1799. But the deadly wound was healed when the papacy was re-established, though with a diminution of its former power by the election of a new Pope, March 14, 1800. This beast opens his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name. He blasphemes the tabernacle in heaven by turning the attention of his subjects to his own throne and palace instead of the tabernacle to the tabernacle of God, by turning their attention away from the city of God, Jerusalem above him, pointing them to Rome as the eternal city. And he blasphemes them that dwells in heaven by assuming to exercise the power of forgiving sins, and so turning away the minds of man from the mediatorial work of Christ and his heavenly assistance in the heavenly sanctuary of God, By verse 10, we are again referred to the events of 1798, when that power that have for 1,260 years led the saints of God into captivity was led into captivity itself, as already noticed. Verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast and before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth, the sight of man. Verse 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. We'll read the comments by Uriah Smith the next time. May God the Father and his Son and Jesus Christ continue to bless you and be gracious to you. Amen.